Yo, people, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KG X to the Z TV. Bomba, midday here on the East Coast of the US. Transfer Bomba accelerated quickly, folks. Quickly, no pun intended, right? We know Diamande's got pace, got wheels. But folks, Diomande to Real Madrid. Here we go. Fee over 100 million euros, 5-year contract until 2031. Medical tests soon come. Folks, what does this mean? Yo, Madrid is not playing around, folks. They're sniffing around Rodri. They're sniffing around Enzo a little bit. They're in negotiations with Vinny Jr. or Vinny Jr. is sort of potentially using Arsenal, or is he? Is he really using Arsenal as a sort of leverage to get this new bumper deal? I don't know. But look, as you can see up on the screen, is this Vinny's replacement on that left-hand side? Or is it just another piece to the puzzle of that attacking trio? If you want to throw Rodrigo in there, don't know how he's going to come back off of his ACL, but is Diomande the new left winger? Does Real Madrid, does Florentino Perez say, you know what, now that we've got Diomande, we've got Mbappe, we know Mbappe is the main man, but Vinny is still every bit the superstar that Mbappe is. Won leagues for Real Madrid, won Champions Leagues for Real Madrid, played well this summer for the first time in a major tournament for Brazil. Does this Diomande move push Vinny a little bit closer to Arsenal? Or is Diomande coming in to play on that right side and Rodrigo becomes the super sub? Folks, it's a lot of what ifs. A lot of what ifs. Put out a video earlier, a little short, saying that Vinny to Arsenal was pretty much done, or pretty much over in terms of being done, finito, el fin. But folks, is it back on? I don't know. Personally, I still think that Vinny's using Arsenal as leverage to get this new bumper deal. I don't think this summer Florentino Perez would, after just being reelected, after promising, look, to sort of bring some of the Galacticos back. Does this mean that Vinny's out the door? Does Vinny fund this, his sale fund this, and does it fund, say, a Rodri? What is he? What even is Rodri's price? Right, 29 going on 30, or maybe he's 30 now. Just had back surgery, 2 years removed or 3 years removed from an ACL, but put in a player of the tournament type of campaign this summer for Spain, helping them win the World Cup. Fantastic in the last 2 games in the semifinal, and then in the final, just dominated proceedings, dominated decent midfields on the international scene. Do they have the money for all of this? Probably yes, because they're Real Madrid and they can make money, and they'll probably get some sales. I heard Asensio's probably out the door. Mastuanto might be out the door. Endrick might be out the door. Gonzalo Garcia is probably out the door, to linking them to Fulham and stuff like that. Tchouameni could be out the door. Camavinga could be out the door. I mean, that's probably around 200, 250 in sales right there. You throw on Vinny on top of that. What's Vinny's transfer value even, right? 1 year left on his deal. If Barcola's going for 120, Vinny should be at least 160, 170. And now look, I get it. Like, Vinny comes with baggage. He comes with a very, very high salary. He comes with that ego that, to be honest with you, he deserved, right? He it's warranted considering the success that he's had at Madrid. Does Arteta want to put up with that? Can he put up with that? We saw him ship out Aubameyang. We saw him ship out other big egos like that. But Vinny's on a different stratosphere to those folks, right? Vinny's on 400 some K a week after taxes net. And we know how them Spanish taxes are crazy, crazy. So what does this mean, folks? What does this mean? I personally think that Vinny will still resign, and you'll have a rotating four of Vinny, Mbappe, Diomande, and what's his name? And Rodrigo when he comes back from his ACL. I'd still keep Endrick around. I thought Endrick was really good when he went on loan second half of the season to Lyon. I think he's the closest thing that they have to an out and out striker, even though he's not like a traditional center forward, but more sort of the modern type of forward, right? Can drift wide, um, decent with the ball at his feet and things like that. Hell of a ball striker. But folks, this one, does this mean what does this mean for the price for Barcola? 120, 130? If Liverpool wasn't willing to pay over 100 million pounds for Diomande, are they going to add 25, 30 plus potentially add-ons on top of that for Barcola? Look, this is the summer, folks, of midfielders, right? We've seen a lot of midfielders already being signed. We've seen some out there that are still sort of floating around. Bruno G, Adam Wharton, Adam Scott, and a few others, right? Left wing, decent options, especially now that Vinny's become open, right? Diomande, Barcola, Tzolis, who just went. We're linked with some Bosnian youth that's supposed to be halfway decent. Garnacho goes to Villa. So left wing, even though it's not the premier position that it used to be, right? I think right wing is sort of taken over with that, with the likes of Olise, Dembele, even Saka and folks like that. What does this? This one, I'm still scratching my head over this one. Good player, was on trial at Chelsea way back in 2023. Fantastic story, heartbreaking story about what happened with him and his younger sister. Will always, root for a player that's gone through things like that, and it seems to have a good head on his shoulder. But we'll see when you get to Madrid. I've seen Madrid whistle CR7. I've seen them whistle much better players than him. Benzema, Higuain, Vinny, all types of players. Will that pressure be too big for him? I don't know. I mean, personally, he's got Mbappe. If Vinny resigns, he's got Vinny. He's got Jose to sort of take the media pressure off, but he's got to hit the ground running there. Hopefully he does. Hopefully he does. Like I said, good, promising kid. I thought he was going to probably stay back at Leipzig for one more year after the Liverpool interest fell out. After even though Arsenal needs a touchline left winger, and he's sort of like a Semenyo regen, maybe a little bit more pacey, maybe a little bit better of a dribbler, but probably not the finisher that Semenyo is. But again, about six years. I think Semenyo is about 26ish, maybe even 27. So you would expect Semenyo to be a little bit more developed in that aspect. But whoo, folks, this Bomba was unexpected, and it called for an unexpected video. So folks, I'm gonna cut it short. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know how you see this affecting the rest of the transfer window in terms of what it does with Barcola, what it does with Vinny. If it's not Vinny, what happens to that left-hand side of Arsenal's attack? Lot of dominoes are going to start to fall after this World Cup just ended last week. So folks, make sure you lock in, hit that like, hit that subscribe, turn those notifications on, and we will see you at the next one.